Go for Nightwing. Best ass in all of New Jersey. Oh, Penny 1. What's up?
Good evening, Master Grayson. Have you spoken to Bruce?
Not today. Everything okay?
He's been out non-stop for the past week. I don't know if he's well.
Alfred. He runs around in an all-black bat suit. I don't think I'd ever describe him as well. But I'm about to head into a sting. Can you try anyone else?
Tim is with Bernard, Steph and Cass are busy, Damien is God knows where, and he's not speaking to Jason.
After I get it finished here...
I'll try him again.
Alfred, I found him.
God, sir, finally making your peace?
Freeze's men have been pulling major heists all over the city, taking all sorts of seemingly unassociated tech. But I figured it out. They're creating a way to snap freeze the city's entire water supply, which would destroy the infrastructure of the city. That would drop Gotham into the bay before Freeze could ice it over.
Is that what you've been investigating, sir? You could have asked for help.
Not this time. Freeze seems different. I've got to finish this tonight. Bat one out. It's over, Victor. I put all of your men on ice in Blackgate. It's just us now.
Walk away, Batman. You can still make it.
I have to stop you, Freeze. Your evil deeds end now.
You don't understand, Batman. You never could.
What I don't understand is why you needlessly take lives with such ease.
What does it matter? We all feel death's cold embrace alone in the end. You don't understand it. You've got all of your sidekicks and super friends. You don't understand loneliness.
Victor,
You cannot understand how it feels to watch the one you love most die in front of you, slowly and in agony. I've done everything I can to try to stop it. To save her, my Nora. I can do nothing. All of this was for nothing.
I know that pain better than anyone, Victor. What it's like to feel helpless to save the people you love. But I instead use that pain to make it so no one else has to feel what we've felt.
Everything I've done for love. I regret nothing, Batman.
I wish that I could have helped you, Victor. I truly do. What you feel, I can't imagine, but I can't let you do this.
I know you can't. So...
Hello, Master Bruce. I actually have an update on the location of those Arkham escapees. The Super Sons? Not the boys, the other ones.
Alfred, thank you.
For what, sir?
Everything.
Come home, son. I'll make lobster thermidor.
My favorite.
To the Batmobile. Let's go. Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out. There was a time above, a time before. There were perfect things, diamond absolutes. Things fall, things on Earth. And what falls is fallen.
Bruce! You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Welcome to Gatecrashers, a podcast dedicated to kicking open the door to your next favorite thing. Our mission, our creed, and our code is this: to make all things more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a universe that you'll fall in love with. My name's Dan. My pronouns are he, him.
I'm Jake. I also use he, him pronouns.
And today we are actually doing a first. So in our 3 years of the show, we've never actually revisited a property. But today we are. Today we are revisiting The Batman. It was our third episode when we were Super Sons. It was called Batginnings. And I think we are a lot better at this now than we were back then.
You don't say.
We have a much better structure now than we did back then.
We also both have podcasting voices now.
Yeah, we've done this for quite a long time. And the Batman is, maybe one of the biggest characters of all time. I've got my bat headband on. I've got my bat shirt on. I've got my bat thong on. What?
He's the second biggest superhero of monetarily in franchises.
Who's first? Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, then after Batman is Superman.
Huh. Well, listen, we had a big episode for Spider-Man. We're having this one for Batman. There's two characters that I'm very interested in covering in the next year who are also at those levels. One is the one you suggested was Superman, and then we're going to cover a character for the first time, a little known character. Not many people know this guy. He's pretty indie. His name's Wolverine, so we'll see that in the near future. But Batman, this is a big one. Batman is one of the most well-known characters.
Oh,
period.
Absolutely.
So, before we get started, we've talked about it before. Jake and I have had a long relationship with Batman. I think my love for Batman has only grown since I've grown older because my idea of him changes as I change, like the things I want from him.
I think in the last year, my appreciation for Bruce has actually gone back up.
Yes.
I think for a while I had more of an issue with Bruce in comparison to the rest of his, franchise characters.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a really good run of books.
Yes.
So, Jake, why don't you give us a back-of-the-box blurb for Batman?
Right. What strikes fear into the hearts of criminals, monsters, and all the things that go bump in the night? The Batman. Born to riches, broken by tragedy, and reforged by darkness, Bruce Wayne takes to the streets every night to show the underworld of Gotham City crime won't be tolerated anymore.
That's a great one. By the time this comes out, my review of The Batman will be out. I'll talk about that a little bit before we get into the spoilers.
Excited.
So, a brief history of The Batman. Batman first appeared in the pages of Detective Comics 27 in 1939, created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, mostly Bill Finger. The character quickly became a sensation. Within a year, the billionaire crime fighter known as Bruce Wayne had spun off into his own comic series, and shortly thereafter had an established supporting cast in sidekick Robin, butler Alfred Pennyworth, and police commissioner Jim Gordon. Along with these iconic allies came even more iconic villains, from the Riddler to Two-Face, to sometime love interest enemy Catwoman, to the Batman's arch enemy, and our buddy Ethan's favorite character, the Joker. Come the 1960s, Batman was given an iconic TV show starring Adam West as the Cape Crusader, which saw the camp dialed up to 100, ensuring Batman would remain in the cultural zeitgeist forever. That show changed, that made superheroes as relevant as they are today. The 1970s saw the Batman of the comics return to a more gothic style of storytelling, thanks in large part to the legendary creators Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. What followed in the 1980s are the two most recognizable Batman stories of all time: The Dark Knight Returns, and an update look at the beginnings of Gotham's vigilante with Batman Year One, both written by Frank Miller. In 1989, Tim Burton brought The Dark Knight to the big screen in the aptly named Batman, with Michael Keaton as the brooding detective and Jack Nicholson in the role of his greatest foe, the Joker. We'll talk ad nauseum about the Joker played by Jack Nicholson. Since then, Batman films have been a regular occurrence at the movie theater, the newest of which is out at the week of this recording, starring Robert Pattinson as Batman. All the while, the Batman of the comics has gone through changes while still always being the same character at heart. From a death in the family to the Nightfall, from facing the final crisis to a glimpse into the future state, there can only be one conclusion. Batman is. And thank you to Ethan who wrote that history, because I and Jake were buried so deep in Batman this week that it is not even funny.
I'm surprised I'm so excited for the new movie with all that Batman content we've consumed.
So before we get to the Who May Like This and what we're covering, I want to tell you about the Batman. I'm not going to, there's no spoilers. I just want to give you a quick spoiler-free review to get you excited. It is the most comic accurate Batman. He's heavy detective. The score is unbelievable. Zoe Kravitz is the best Catwoman. She's incredible. The biggest thing for me is the relationship between him and Jim is actually like full on the screen. Like they're buddies and they like give each other shit, which is awesome. The Penguin is just a man from New Jersey. I was like, oh, they don't say it, but he's just a New Jersey gangster. Like you can tell. You're like, oh yeah, he would be on The Sopranos.
Oh yeah, we should probably clear up the fact that Gotham is in New Jersey and not in New York.
Correct.
Like most people would
is it
believe.
Egg Harbor? Is that where it's supposed to be?
Yeah,
between Egg Harbor and somewhere else.
Yeah,
which doesn't make any sense because those are short towns, but. I guess it would if you put a whole city there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a...
But Gotham is its own character in the film. Like, this Gotham looks like the one from the comics. It doesn't look like any other... You know how, like, Nolan's looked like Chicago? This looks like its own place. I was sitting, like, on the edge of my seat the whole 3 hours. I was like, I cannot believe this movie is as good as... Like, I love Batman, and you'll find out that I'm a big Snyder fan, but, like... I've just come off the heels of watching every single Twilight and then The Lighthouse. I love Robert Pattinson.
He's great. He made those movies watchable.
Unbelievable. He's so everyone in the movie is so good. Paul Dano's I hate Riddler. I just 100% hate Riddler. He is the one character I would kick the living shit out of.
Well, I mean,
especially when he has the mutton chops.
I mean, if someone just starts spouting off riddles in a regular space, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't say any riddles near good old Dan. You've all been warned.
So we're doing this a little bit differently. So we usually say who may like this, but the way we've structured this episode is we're going to give everyone who may like things because Batman doesn't really fit into one genre. So you can do multiple things. So I'm going to go over what we're covering, and I'm going to say if this is for you. So we've got Batman Year One, which is like the big classic origin story. This is for someone who's like, I really want to like see the origin story of Batman, but not like just the generic dead parents stuff. It dives into Jim Gordon and Batman's relationship in the first kind of steps of that. It's also, Frank Miller sucks as a human being, but it's a really good story.
Also, there is a movie version of this,
which is also very good with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, it's a pretty faithful adaptation.
Yeah. We'll talk about the coloring in this story. So it was written by Frank Miller, art by Dave Mazzucchelli, colors by Richmond Lewis. Now, the original colors were by Richmond Lewis. They have recolored it if you're reading it digital, and we'll talk about that later.
Which it wasn't as bad as
we'll get into it because I want to go off on coloring. Todd Klein is the letterer, and the editor was Dennis O'Neil, who was an icon.
Yeah.
Then we've got Batman Universe, which is a really good starting point for anyone who's really never read anything Batman, seen any movie, or has never really read a comic.
It's got a wide palette.
Yeah, it's super fun. There's a bunch of cameos, and like there's so much in it that if you're a longtime fan, you're going to see things you enjoy. But even if you're not, there's things to really like just have fun. And it's a really good kind of distillation of what Batman is. There's a little bit of dark. There's a little bit of light. There's some fun. There's dinosaurs. There's the best 2-page spread in any comic ever with him and Nightwing.
Yes.
That was written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Nick Darrington, who is a goat. Colors by Dave Stewart and letters by Josh Reed. The editors were Jamie S. Rich, Brittany Halzer, and Dave Wilgus. Then we've got I would say these are my two favorite Batman stories, maybe ever. So first up, we've got Rooftops. Now this is for the person who wants to see Batcat smooching and doing romantic stuff.
Smooching?
This
They do a lot more than smooching.
Yeah, this is the best 2 issues I could hand you to be like, this is their relationship. There's a lot of back and forth. There's the great flirting. There's the will they, won't they, because Batman can never put down his war on crime. And we'll get more into what I feel about this run in the later half of the episode when we get into spoilers. I mean, spoiler, I love Tom King's Batman. So, up next, we have the 2-parter Super Friends, which explores the friendship of Batman and Superman on a double date with Clark Kent's wife, Lois Lane, and Batman's soon-to-be wife, Catwoman at the time. Now, this is for someone who you want to be... if they like romance, you hand them this comic because it's a big 2-issue about friendship, about Batman and Superman, how they feel about each other, and
if you didn't like Batman vs. Superman, you'll definitely like this one.
Yes, this is the antithesis to that. They're so goofy together. There's some fantastic lines. Well, the one where Superman's like, the S stands for hope, and Batman goes, oh, the bat stands for bat. Like, they're so fun. Like, they're best friends, but they're like,
I can't wait to talk about the baseball thing.
They have taught masculinity problems, and they don't know how to express their friendship or feelings for each other. So, both of these stories were written by Tom King. Rooftops had art by Mitch Gerrits, which, GOAT. If you know it's a Tom King book, you're going to assume the letters are by Clayton Cowles. Then it was edited by Rebecca Taylor and Mark Doyle. Super Friends had art by Clay Mann, with inks by Clay and Seth Mann, with colors by Jordi Belair, who is, I'll say it, probably the best Batman colorist.
Oh, absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah, very good.
Again, we got Clayton, because it's Tom. He's coming. He's always going to be at that party. Then you got Maggie Howell and Jamie S. Rich as the editors. Whew, all right. Next up, we've got films.
All right.
Jake, do you want to do the films or shows?
Yes. I'll talk about the films. Jake McMahon, big film guy. Big film guy.
The person who has never watched a film his entire life until this week.
Yeah, films very hard. ADHD goes zoom. Yeah, Batman 89, which is it's the Nemesis Jekyll and Hyde situation. It is directed by Tim Burton, written by Sam Hamm and Warren Scarrett.
Now, this is when you give someone who wants to learn about if you want to see Batman and Joker as they're meant to be, sort of like the antithesis to each other. You got the Jekyll and the Hyde. One is super dark, one is super fun. One is doing things for the right, one is doing things for the absolute wrong. This movie is so it's so good and it holds up so well. The dialogue is sharp. Yeah. Next up, though,
we got Batman Begins: The Training and Raj Al Ghul.
So Batman Begins is really the one if you want someone who wants a grounded superhero story.
If you like James Bond films, the Daniel Craig James Bond films, you should like this because they're very much in the same vein.
Yeah, this is very much the same era too.
Yeah, it's very 2000s, mid 2000s.
Yes,
very war on terror.
Mm-hmm.
It is directed by Christopher Nolan and written by David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan. And then, Dan, you love this movie so much. You want to talk about this one? You want to?
Yes, Lego Batman. This is up until the Batman. This is the perfect Batman movie. This is for the whole family. You can give it to anyone. This is essentially the Batman universe of movies. Anyone can see this and be like, "Oh, that's what Batman's about." It's a parody of Batman, but it's a parody to the point where it's talking about how he lacks the ability to let other people in and accept help. It's a great story for other people. It's a great story in general. You've got Michael Cera as Robin and Rip. He is so funny. There's musical
the
numbers.
Just call me Dick. Well, kids can be cruel.
God, it is so fun. This is again, if I didn't see the Batman this week, this is number 2. It goes this, and then it goes Batman 89. But this is for the whole family. If you want your kids, if you're a kid and you want to watch Batman, this is where you're going to go. Because, it is so much fun. And then it's got the deepest of cuts for everyone else. Nerds, this is, there's so much stuff in this, and you're like, oh my God.
I'm so surprised. Not only was there Catman in it, but there was Penguin's like, you know, I don't want to call them femme fatales, but like his assassins from the Batman cartoon.
What? Oh my God, there was.
Yeah.
With the claws?
Yes.
Wow. And then Zach Galifianakis is all right. So this was directed by Chris McKay. It was written by Seth Grimes Smith, Chris McKenna, Eric Summers, Jared Stern, and John Whittington.
I'm so surprised how tight of a movie it is with that many writers.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't seen the Lego movie, this is kind of a sequel to it. Like, he talks about master building and stuff. You don't need to see the Lego movie, but you should. Other than Chris Pratt, because...
You don't need to see the second one. I haven't. So,
do you want to do the next one, Jake, or do you want me to...
Batman versus Superman, The Darker Tone. It is directed by Zack Snyder, written by...
Ultimate Cut.
Yeah, the Ultimate Cut.
Just so you know.
Cut. Written by Chris Terrio and David S. Goyer. A lot of Goyer.
There is. I mean, it's bad. There's a lot of Goyer throughout all of this. Batman vs Superman. I've watched this movie. I don't know how many times.
This was actually the first time I watched the Ultimate Cut.
It's dark.
I had it. I bought it when it came out, and I just never watched it.
It's if you've got someone who's kind of into the grittier, darker Batman stories, or that's into the grittier, darker stuff, maybe they spend a lot of time in Hot Topics. In the front of Spencer's.
You're bullying. Oh, the front of Spencer's. Yeah, they're definitely not the back of Spencer's.
No, Rooftops is what you would read if you hang out in the back of Spencer's. That's the horniest of these stories.
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm a huge Snyder fan. Like, I'm a gigant, but it's not for everyone. Like, it's not,
not
everyone's going to enjoy this. It's super long, but I love Batfleck. I'm wearing the Batfleck headband right now. It is Batman post-Robin. So take that in mind, and you're watching a broken man try to come to terms with who he is. And it's awesome. Then we've got the shows. Jake, you can do the first one.
Batman, the animated series. We covered Robin's Reckoning, which is a two-parter written by Randy Rogel and directed by Dick Sebast.
This is if you want to see the relationship between Batman and Robin, and kind of see the side of Batman where it's like maybe he has the best intentions, but sometimes doesn't do best by the people around him.
Yeah, it is very much, especially if it gives you a good sense of that Batman's time as Batman, his relationship with fatherhood, things like that.
He's got issues. Batman across
man wearing a big bat suit got issues, huh?
Yeah. Then we've got Batman Brave and the Bold, which is a fantastic series. If you haven't watched any of it, you really should. But we're talking specifically about Mayhem of the Music Meister, because if I get a chance to talk about a musical, I'm going to take it. This is a musical episode. It's a full musical, won an Emmy, I think, for the music. It's got Neil Patrick Harris as the Music Meister. It's written by Michael Jelenic and directed by Ben Jones. It's another fun one. Like, if you just want to watch a Batman musical, this is it, because the other one never got made. It got made. It never made it to the stage. You can still hear some of it. It's on YouTube and stuff like that.
Right,
Wonderful Toys. Yeah, and then Meatloaf used one of the songs on one of his albums.
I didn't know that.
In the Land of the King, the Butcher is... Wait, In the Land of the Pig, the Butcher is King, is the name of the song. Then we've got probably the best episode of animated television maybe ever, with Justice League Unlimited Epilogue. Teleplay by Dwayne McDuffie. Story by Bruce Timm and McDuffie. Directed by Dan Reba. This is a story if you want to see the darker side of Batman, how other people see him, and then learn the truth. Because again, Batman has the best intentions, but sometimes they don't come out correctly. And he doesn't...
Also, Dwayne McDuffie.
Yeah, Dwayne McDuffie, an icon.
Goat.
Batman kind of has he's kind of like a one-track mind. It's always his war on crime and never anything else. And sometimes people get caught in the crossfire, and sometimes people don't see that in the end of the day, he's only doing it because he wants the best for the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jake, where can people find these stories?
So, most of these films and shows were on HBO Max. Batman 89 was on Hulu, and that all really depends on your region. They're all available physically as well as on demand in many places. You can get the comics at your local comic book shop or on DC Universe Infinite, or if you don't have a comic book shop near you, you can order from Third Eye Comics, who ship internationally.
Bam. So,
We're
going to be talking all about all of these stories with full spoilers after the jump. If you want to check them out before do
I have to jump? My knees kind of hurt.
before you get to the second half of the episode, feel free to do so. Or if you've already read all these, or just want to hear us talk about them, hold on tight, and we'll see you after the jump. And we're back.
I told you my knees hurt.
All right, so you want to start with Batman Year One, right?
Yes. Let's talk about it.
All
So,
right.
I want to actually say that most people would say that Dark Knight Returns is his best work. No, this is his best work for Frank Miller.
Yeah, it's
I think this actually has more lasting effects on creators than anything else, because you can see Mazzucchelli's influence in various other artists.
When I was reading this, there is a panel. I can't remember which one. So it's Gordon. Oh, it's when his wife answers the phone to say that she knows about his affair. It looks like a panel drawn by Joshua Hickson, but with the art with colors by whoever did the Ghostmaker. I can't remember who did the colors. No, not Ghostmaker. Not Peacemaker. What were the guys in Tynion's run? The bad guys, the super cops. What were they called?
The Magistrate.
Yes, the Magistrate 1. So the head guy. That story. I
get where you're coming from.
Batman Year One is the story that everyone puts like that's Batman's origin. Like the scene where he. Okay, yeah. So I want to talk about that one scene a little bit. So the dinner scene where like all the shitty heads of Gotham, all the corrupt people are all in dinner, and Batman's outside setting up lights, and he's setting up all of his different things because, and this comes up, we'll talk about this even more when we get to Batman Begins, but a lot of it's about pageantry and using your tools and harnessing people's ideas as weapons. And Batman puts on a show, comes through the window and like puts a fire out with like the top of the pan. And basically he's telling these people like, you're fucked. Like I'm coming for you. Either clean up or you're going to jail.
So good.
And it's such a beautiful page. I'm going to pull it up right now so I can look at it. But it's like one of those iconic scenes where like you'll see this parodied everywhere because it's a really good scene. Oh, ladies, gentlemen, you have eaten well. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit. Your feast is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe. Like, how cool is that? Then he puts the fire out and it's a black panel. Like, that is such an iconic Batman moment. Like, I know people have problems with Frank because he sucks as a person, again, but this is a really good story. The movie is just as good.
Oh, yeah.
What did you... Okay, I know you had a problem with the Batman lettering for...
Oh, no, just his... Because Bruce and Batman's thought boxes are always in cursive in this. Mm-hmm. It's never really indicated whether or not it's just a journal or not.
So it looks like a journal. It's like it's like paper.
I could very much see that where you could say that. I mean, if it wasn't just him having thoughts, it was just him having thoughts, but there was Gordon and other people.
I always thought it was.
It very well could be, and just not
journal,
not specifically stated in this one.
Yeah, I don't think it's the lettering is so like I just assumed because I looked at it, it's like, oh, this is in cursive and it's on that specific color.
The main real issue with that is it just hasn't aged as well because people don't really write in cursive anymore.
I think Batman would though, because the thing with Batman is that he went to all these like prep schools and things like that.
He had his hand slapped with the ruler.
Yeah, so him writing in cursive means absolute perfect sense to me. Also, the way it
makes sense.
The boxes,
don't want to have to be like, oh, let me turn on the part of my brain that remembers cursive.
Yeah, the the box design made me think it's a journal as well because it looks like ripped paper.
Yes, because it's especially because at that time people were still using thought bubbles instead of just captions.
Yeah, I miss thought bubbles. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
But like,
which they were really supposed to be like different things, but like they've just kind of melded together.
Yeah. This So let's talk about. All right, do you want to talk about Batman's story in this or Gordon's story first?
Gordon's. I think this is a bigger.
I think it's a Gordon story.
It's
I really do.
A Gordon story. I think this and 89 do something very good in the fact that Batman isn't always the direct. He's not really the direct focus.
And I think that's some of the best stories that Batman's not the direct focus because he gives you a chance to see how other people see Batman.
Yeah,
but
it builds him.
I love Gordon. Like I really like him as a character, and I think this is the story why. Because like he is a good man. He fucks up. Yeah. When he has an affair, because his wife is pregnant and he's dealing with all this stuff in the city. There's no like.
Yeah, he's a good cop in a bad town.
Yes, and his entire story like builds throughout like him getting to understand Gotham because he's not corrupt. That's the big thing about Gordon is he is not corrupt. Everyone else though 100% is, and he gets his ass beat by other cops.
Yeah, by a bunch of other cops. They all go out of their way to hurt him,
and he realizes that one of them is his partner Flass. Is it Flat?
It's Flass.
So Flass,
he's also his partner in Batman Begins.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he is. They don't do the cool story, but
yeah, no. I mean, it's hard to tell because he's not a physical match.
Yeah. Also, in the first issue, you meet Selina and
Holly, who's also in another story.
Holly's in a lot.
Yeah. Granted, there's a Tom King Holly Robinson is very different than pre-New 52 Holly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the Catwoman in this is not like we see her now, like kind of really thin and things like that. She's like tall and buff, which I think is the best.
No, she's a dominatrix.
Yeah, she's cool as shit in this. And then she fights Batman. The first thing she does is fight him and he gets shot. But
well, Holly stabbed him. Yeah. Oh, I mean that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not too different. Maybe not too different.
So then Jim gets beat up, but then he gets a baseball bat and goes out to Flash's house. Holds a gun on him, but he puts the gun down and gives Flash a bat so he can defend himself. But he beats the living shit out of Flash, even though he's injured. He the dialogue is, I don't crack his skull, I don't crush his larynx, I didn't break his ribs or punch my hand through his chest. I do just enough to keep him out of the hospital. I toss his gun into the woods. It should be rusty by morning. I take his clothes off and leave him in his own cuffs by the side of the road. He'll never report it, not Flash. He'll make up some sort of story that involves at least 10 attackers and never admit I did it. So that's Gordon knowing this person and using that to his advantage. Kicks the shit out of this guy and just leaves him naked out in the snow.
Yeah. Oh God, it's such a tight story. I mean, it's only 4 issues.
It's 4 issues, but it's like the most. It's so wild that it's 4 issues.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it's
just
not
regular
like a slog.
issues.
It's not a slog to read through.
No, it's incredible. And Batman does he drives home and he's completely injured and he crashes his car. But then you get the big iconic his parents are dead, yada yada, and the bat crashes through the window and he's like, I'll become the bat. Like I shall become the bat. Like that is one of the most iconic things. That's a very iconic Batman moment. Again, parodied throughout so much stuff because it is such a big thing.
I think the color palette that was chosen for this really helps sell the atmosphere.
Yeah, so the digital recoloring.
Yeah.
So typically I hate it. I
typically
despise it.
because they color outside the lines. They don't take the time.
Because the thing is, they're not paid. Like they're like here, get this shit done. Here's like $50, and they're done. This one feels like there was actual attention.
I think they just
detail.
pay them to do like the flats.
Yeah. This one feels like they took some time. I don't agree with recoloring.
I don't necessarily think it was that they took their time. I think that the original color palette just was able to hide the mistakes that the recolors made.
Yeah, there is some stuff in here, but like the one where he's in traffic, like it looks like it was meant to be blotchy, if that makes sense. Like some of the stuff looks blotchy, but it looks like it was meant to, like it was watercolor. I really love the part he's in the traffic and he's like, every time I get up, Barbara gets up too, despite me trying to be quiet. And by the time I already have my pants on, she's already got my coffee. Like things like that. Like Gordon knows how much this woman loves him and is carrying his child, but he still fucks up.
Yeah, well, they also were fighting a lot.
Yeah, but it's like it shows you that he's human. It doesn't know. I don't care that he's not real. But
he's not real.
It shows you that he's a real person. He fucks up and makes mistakes. So you realize that no one in Gotham is infallible. Like they're all gonna fuck up, including Batman. There's no way that Batman doesn't kill people. I'm going on record as saying that if you throw a blade into somebody's face, there's going to be lasting damage that you may as well be dead.
Well, yeah, that all depends on what the era of the batarangs that is. Like, like there's a blunt edge to the ones in these ones.
What's he use now? They're blades now, aren't they?
Yeah, there's some type of shuriken now. They're not really a boomerang anymore.
Yeah, if you throw a blade into somebody's chest and you pull it out, they're gonna bleed.
Yeah. Granted, you don't really see. He doesn't. So,
he doesn't impale people.
Well, the thing about shurikens and boomerangs are meant to hit people. Boomerangs were meant to were used for hunting. They're meant to hit their target. Shurikens are not. Shurikens are a distraction. As here comes the history nerd in me. Like they're not really meant for that. They're just supposed to be like catch the attention and like throw you off. You're not supposed to like hurt somebody with them.
Yeah.
Batman just uses them mainly to disarm.
Yeah. No, I don't think Batman is going out of his way to kill people.
No, I want him to have the old batarangs that had like the rounded edges and they were like just the cape.
Yeah. The ones that kind of look like Keaton's symbol.
No. I mean like
what was Keaton's batarang look like? Sorry, you can hear my clickety clackety keyboard, but there's going to be a lot of this episode because I actually want to look stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, are those keys still sticking?
No, I had to take my entire keyboard apart, and his ones in this are it's like that. It curves down.
But it's like it has a blunt edge. Yeah, and it just has like aerodynamic divots. It's not sharp.
Yeah, that's what his is like. That's what Keaton's batarang is.
Yeah, but you were saying like his symbol, not.
Oh yeah. Sorry, his batarang. Another thing I really liked is the when the guy has people hostage and Gordon knows the SWAT team is just terrible. They're like Oh, I gotta talk about that too. But let me finish this thought. So he knows the SWAT team is going to go in and kill him. He comes to the house where this man is holding kids hostage, and the man is not mentally well. Like he escaped from Arkham.
No, he wasn't escape. He didn't escape from Arkham. He was released.
Oh, he was released. From Arkham. Yeah, because this was during the time that there was mass releases from.
Yeah, this was and the only reason he was upset was he was hungry, something like that.
So I don't think that was. I think he was just.
He was complaining about his lunch.
Yeah, I think this was.
He's not well.
What year was this? What year was this published?
Hold on, I can find out.
You should probably write those down.
Yeah, probably. I think it was sometimes in the early 88.
88?
Mm-hmm. 88.
And Jake, who was president in 1988?
I want to say. I think that was actually.
So it was an election year.
That was the year that Bush was elected.
But who was president right before Bush?
Ronald Reagan.
So what happened to all of the public programs to help people?
big old scissors came out of the air
Yep,
and just
and
cut
Ronald
everything
Reagan
in half.
destroyed those. This is probably inspired by that.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, everybody, all our problems today can be traced back to the Reagan era, and Reaganomics.
Of shit. Fuck Ronald Reagan. Back to Batman. So he does. So Gordon specifically is like, I really hope Barbara's not watching, and he knows she is because all eyes are on Gordon, and Gordon's afraid. He's like, I hope nobody sees that my knees are shaking. Like Gordon is. I love getting an insight to a character you think is so strong, and he's like, I'm not. I'm like, I'm human. I'm very afraid, but if I'm not brave right now, these kids die. Like there's no choice about it. And he goes in and he handles it. But before I do want to switch over to Batman in a second, but at one point he's doing target practice and he says, I hate the gun. I hate my job. I keep practicing because he is someone who needs to do things by the letter. He wants to do good. I don't think Gordon likes being a cop, though. I never think he likes being a cop. I think this is the only way he knows how to make the difference that he wants to, and that's why he is so open to helping Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Batman does what Gordon can't. So that is a good transition over to
hold on. This asks my question, because I think this goes into... I said I wanted to talk about this. Do you think Batman content is propaganda?
Batman doesn't really support cops other than Gordon, though. Like, it's not like he's...
Yeah. No, I mean, the idea that...
I think the films are more than comics.
Like, the comics definitely aren't propaganda. But, like, the idea that cops should be working outside the law. That they need to go further to get the job done. Like, the way... Like... The idea that the tremendous amount of power that cops have is not enough.
I guess you could see it that way. I don't think the stories ever focus on that. I think the stories focus on that he is not a cop, and that's the point. Yeah. That he's working outside the law. The only story that
I
says that he
might
should
have
be
someone
is like
in my home that is watching a lot of propaganda.
Yeah, I assume because they're dumbasses.
But listen to this.
Good. I don't give a shit if they listen to this. No, but I think Gordon doesn't like being a cop, and that's why he does support Batman. And I think that's why he's like, if he had the mind for it, he would do what Batman does. But let's talk about Batman in this story because he's not a focus. Like, he's just getting on his feet, and he fails. He legit gets his ass beat like 3 times. But then he's doing things like tying up shitty people naked and driving their Rolls Royce into the ocean and telling them that he did it. Into the bay.
Into the Gotham Bay.
Yeah. And he just like is like, yeah, this is where it's going to be.
Yep. Your Rolls is in the... He's all tied up to the bed.
God, what a great...
He hog-tied him and just threw him on his own bed.
God. I love that Batman hides behind the desk and... the DA's office, who is Harvey Dent at this point, who is his friend as well.
Yeah.
And Gordon doesn't even realize he's just ducking down behind the desk.
As Gordon's asking Dent if he's Batman.
Yeah. The coloring, there's a lot of red and pinks that I really, really like.
Mm-hmm.
I love this book.
Yeah, it's very soft. You can see where parts of the King run was definitely inspired by this.
Yeah.
I mean, there are parts of, Rooftops really references the whole Bat-Cat, Selena becoming Catwoman thing. But I want to specifically say in the form of art, George Fournier's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were inspired by this story.
I think I said that right. I'm not sure.
Fournier's, I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't hold me to it. I'm not a smart man.
I'm just talking off the cuff. The only real difference between when there are parts that he kind of recreated in other pieces, but like when I look at both of them, it's very distinct just in how they are because one, there's slightly difference in the line work, but it's definitely like, yeah, those stories are just it's so similar when you actually look at the art.
Well,
but like
Jared's does it too. Like he uses this art.
But reason I'm bringing this up is the big difference is between this and those is the color. I think
I love this color though. I really like the coloring of these issues.
Because the colors in these issues are a lot softer.
Yeah, I don't think it's as hard.
Yeah, I'm not saying I prefer either way. It's just
I think it works in the story, especially.
Yes, it very works well with the time that it was created and like if this was created now, I would rather it have those hard colors because that's what I would associate with Batman and not like I want to say drab.
Yeah, but like I'm looking at this, right? I'm looking through the issue again, but like there's scenes where like there's a lack of color. Mm-hmm. It is all so like masterfully done that everything kind of works.
There is one page that has no color at all.
Yep, that is right after the fight. After Batman releases all of those bats.
I was confused by that at first. I'm like, was this just something that they didn't recolor, or is this?
No, I think so. For artistic purposes, Batman has just used tech he'd never used before to release just thousands of bats upon this area. Mm. And afterward, the page after is about him getting away. He steals a motorcycle. A cop, Commissioner Loeb, drives into the bay. Then it talks about the after effects. So it talks about how everyone had to get shots, but it talks about all the damage Batman did, how many people were hospitalized, Batman throwing people through walls and internal bleeding, and it talks about the people that were killed because they tried to trap Batman in a place where they thought nobody was there and they didn't matter. So there was people living there, and they killed them because they didn't matter to them. Mm. And it's a very sad thing.
The way he actually fought them reminded me so much of how they made for the Arkham games, the stealth sections.
Yes, we probably should have talked about those too.
We should have, but we didn't have. There was no physical way we were.
I did play Arkham. I played Night this week. I only played it for like 10 minutes before I left to go see Batman. But I just wanted to get into a fight. Well, that's all I wanted.
Yeah, but like the Predator missions.
Yeah, that fighting is like what I'm best at in video games. Like, remember when everyone was complaining how hard the Deathstroke fight was, and I was like, oh, I did it in one go. Because for some reason, I'm just really good at. I also play them all on hard, and I do not like hard games. You know that because you listened to me play Bloodborne last week, last week at this time. If I'm playing a Batman game, I wanna earn it. That makes sense. Like same with Spider-Man. I play those on hard too.
I will say that Origins was my favorite Batman Arkham game.
I think City's probably mine only because the ending is so good. And I don't want to spoil it if people haven't played it because we didn't say we're going to cover it. But
yeah, I just like that there was martial artists as enemy, like as grunt enemies. Like you'd have to counter them, and they could counter you, and you had to count them back.
Yeah. I did want to talk about before we go into the next story more Gordon. But there's a page where he's sitting at the end of his bed with a gun in his hand and his pregnant wife in the bed. And I can't get the idea that he hates being a cop, and he says, I'm just gonna read this page because like before we move on, I really liked this story. I had just read it before we got on. So, and right now I should be talking to her. This is after he cheated on her and she found out, begging for her to forgive me for the baby.
They're in counseling.
Or he hasn't told her yet. I don't think he's told her yet because this is issue 2, 3, or whatever.
It might be one or the other.
I should talk to her. I shouldn't be thinking not about Sergeant Essen.
This is before. This is before. This is the lead up.
He's a criminal. I'm a cop. It's that simple. But I'm a cop in a city where the mayor and the commissioner of police use cops as hired killers. He saved that old woman. He saved that cat. He even paid for that suit. The hunk of metal in my hands is heavier than ever. And he's got the gun in his hand. Like, it's such a good page. And like the art on like the bed, and I really like Batman Year One. Like I haven't read it until today. Like I read it back when I lived like 2 apartments ago because I bought the original trade and it's over on the shelf. But
yeah.
It's really good.
They just made a new hardcover. I was gonna buy it today. I was like,
did they?
They also did a new hardcover of year 2 as well.
I'm so glad. Well, before we get into the Batman 89, I am so glad that I do not live near a comic book. Like, I live near comic book stores, but I don't go to them. I get my stuff. I get Third Eye. I have a digital. I have a pull that they send to me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I would spend all my money on this stuff. Like, I love the physical copies.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I don't. I try to stop myself from buying them now. I do my very best.
See, I've gotten to the point where, because I also bring everybody their cookies, so they all know my name for the most part, for the people, the weekend crew. And
I actually have to email Steve about an interview we were going to be doing there.
I was going to ask you because we have brought that up before.
Yeah, I just talked to the writer the other day.
Which writer?
The writer who we're going to be covering later in the episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
So,
I didn't know if it was a different.
Want to move on to one of the movies?
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence, one of the greatest scenes in all of film, the Joker destroying that.
Okay, so as much as year 1 was a Gordon story, this is a Joker story.
Oh, it's so fucking good. I love the Joker.
Which is funny because the current Joker book is a Gordon book.
Yes, which is also very good. Before we get into this, if you're looking for current comics, I want you to pick up the James Tynion's Batman run. All great artists, stuff like that. That's a very good place to start if you're looking to get into Batman comics currently. His run has just ended.
Actually, you could also start with the Williamson run because that's.
Yep, it's also a thing.
Yeah.
And then Williamson will be replaced by Chip Zdarsky soon.
Chip.
All good places to start. Joker is a very good book. Let's talk about Batman 89.
I'm currently waiting
though.
for the trade.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, Batman 89. You got a whole Prince album. I don't like Prince. I've never really been into Prince all that much. I've listened to this album probably on repeat all week. It is so good. They were like, "Oh, Prince, can you write a song?" Prince said, "Here's an album." What?
But not only that. It's actively interacted with in the movie.
Yes, it's in the film. Oh God, I am not a huge Tim Burton fan post probably Edward Scissorhands, but this is such a good movie. The dialogue is short. What is the thing you said the other day about when he's talking to the journalist? What's his name? Vicky Vale is a photographer, and her writer is, what is his name?
I don't remember his name.
Whatever. But they were like, he said, I need to get photos. He goes, I'll do nude, but you're going to need a wide lens. Or he's something.
No, you won't need a.
I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, he could have sold himself.
Yeah,
but no, he was like, no, you're not going to need a wide lens.
All right, let's talk about Joker. Let's focus on Joker for a minute because,
well, I before we get into that, I want to talk about the setting because this while it's set in it's 1989, it doesn't look like it's 1989, but it also does.
It looks like Gotham. It's another movie. So Burton's movies and Schumacher's both have distinct Gothams.
Yeah. I mean, Schumacher's is a much different thing, but Gotham is behind. Whereas, especially in contrast to Metropolis, which is, the city of tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one's always supposed to look clean and futuristic as possible. And Gotham isn't. It's supposed to be dilapidated. It's supposed to be grungy, grimy.
Dude, there's so much trash on the ground in the Batman. Just a note. So much trash. It's so good.
I don't know. Nobody could have dressed like they did in this movie in 1989.
I think the thing about it is that it's timeless. The way they look is timeless. It's not like set in a specific era. Yeah,
which is what Batman the Animated Series did.
Yeah,
after this. But then again, I think that was a reference. Huh?
The fucking blimps.
No. Dan, you live in New Jersey still, so how many blimps do you see every day?
It's fucking hard airships outside my house all the time. Just like 8 blimps driving by. Oh God, here they go again. That's why editing the show so hard. Down into the Atlantic it goes. But so like this, everything about the look of the Batmobile in this one is so sick when he puts the armor on it, and you're like, oh, it's so cool.
I used to have the Lego set of that one.
I cannot remember the first time I watched this. Probably I was very young.
I think this watching it for this was actually the first time I've seen it in full.
Really? Oh yeah, because you've never seen Lego Batman either, too.
No, I don't watch a lot of films. Granted, I used to watch a lot of films, and like when I was, before high school. I
love this movie. All right, what do you think of Keaton? I want to hear your thoughts on Keaton. Michael Keaton, to be exact.
Yeah. Yeah. His Batman was very much similar in the way of year one's. He's not
kind of quiet.
He's kind of quiet. He's a little more introspective and introverted. There are times where his comedy background does show through. I just want to talk about the suit. The suit's very clunky.
It is clunky. It's thick.
It is thick. It's supposed to be, and they do work with that. But just watching him slink around.
So he's also a young Batman in this. Like he hasn't been around forever.
Yeah. He granted, he knows what to do more so than year one Batman.
Yeah,
like he's got his method down.
So there's spoiler. I mean, this isn't a spoiler. Everyone knows this. He's going to be in the Batgirl as Batman again. So there's some leaked photos of him, or photos of the Batsuit, and it looks the same. It doesn't look like it's very.
So the main issue with that suit is the way they made the cowl, but also
yes, the symbol. I hate the symbol. Fucking hate it.
Oh, the
I think he looks good though. I think
that's also going to be the symbol in what is it? World's Finest, the new series that's coming out.
That's the Mark Waid one.
Yeah, the Mark Waid one.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Dan Moore draws that one.
But if it's Dan Moore, it's going to look fucking incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna read the hell out of that one.
It looks like good. I think there's a preview somewhere. I might have it. We'll see. I actually have to read Tom's new book after this. I'm very excited for the new King Batman.
He's going to be a Third Eye this weekend.
Is he?
Yep, on Saturday.
Have you ever? Well, we can talk about this offline. I want to know how long those lines really are because, like, Third Eye's a real popular store. Tell you what,
I was there for the original Boba Fett actor, and it was pretty big.
Yeah,
but that's Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of people there, wearing Mandalorian merchandise and all that stuff, like Mandalorian merc people.
So let's get back to Batman. So I don't love the suit in this one.
No,
I do love him as Bruce Wayne though. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. He's so funny.
Yeah, you can tell he started from comedy, and there was a lot of talk when he got this role of why is there a comedian in this role? I think he's gonna do a lot better with it now, but it's very odd looking at him, a young version of him as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like,
yeah.
Then again,
so
I think at this point he was able to get away with it a little more because the comic book literacy at the time was very much different. He's also acting opposite Jack Nicholson,
who's so big in everything he does.
He is unmatched in actual skill and talent of being
charisma.
Yeah,
he fucking brings it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
let's save Nicholson because I want to talk about Joker a lot.
But I just want to say I'm gonna have to watch Returns at some point.
Have you've seen Returns before though, right?
I don't think I've seen it in its entirety.
Holy shit.
I've definitely seen most. I don't think I've seen it all in one sitting.
Oh, Beetlejuice was right before this. Oh my god, Returns is so fucking good. Batman's barely in Returns. It's a Penguin and Catwoman movie, which I think these movies always should be.
Which is fucking wild that Danny DeVito just wrote a Penguin story.
Oh, his Penguin story is literally him and Catwoman banging. It's awesome. He is a very good dude too. He called Michelle Pfeiffer and was like, "Hey, do you mind if I write the story this way?" And she was, "Yeah, I don't care. I didn't know they're doing this." Like, it wasn't like a big deal for her. I actually saw her with the whip the other day somewhere in an interview.
He just writes the comic book characters. He goes, "I should call this woman I know back then," and I acted.
He's probably
a part.
still friends there. Did you know he was a licensed beautician? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, actually. That's awesome.
So his sister, sorry, we're going to get into the Danny DeVito podcast now. So Danny DeVito grew up in Asbury Park, I think, or in that area in Jersey, and his sister was a beautician, and that's what he thought he was going to do. And he can cut hair. So back to Batman. I think I like his Bruce Wayne. I really like his Bruce Wayne in the fact that they have this big dinner in this huge room, and he doesn't like it. Like, this isn't what he's about, and I like that a lot because then they go and eat in the kitchen.
Plays with it. He plays with it.
Yeah, and they talk to Alfred, and Alfred like tells stories and stuff, and like that is a Bruce Wayne I really like. Who's like the biggest thing that I always regret about Keaton is that he didn't get to have a Bat family, because I think he's the perfect Batman to have like a Bat family, like Robins and Batgirls. And now we might get that.
Once again, I think that that would also benefit from the fact that comic book literacy wasn't really a thing. Like, they weren't as big as they are now. Like,
yeah, they weren't as accessible. That's the thing.
Yeah, the thing about it is back then comics were a more disposable medium. They weren't a collector's item.
Yeah, I also don't care about the collector stuff. I'm not a big fan of that idea.
Screw that shit.
But yeah,
I do want my comics to be, in good shape, so I can read them again.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think his batsuit is interesting. I like his cape. I think the cape is really cool.
I think the all black is good.
Yeah, okay, but let me talk about Joker. Fucking love that guy. He is so animated in everything he does. He's so much bigger, and he's so much fun, even while he's doing heinous, horrible shit. Like when he shakes the guy's hand with the electric shocker and he like makes him turn into bones. That shit is so funny. You're like, what? That's goofy, but it's incredible. It's like this. I love the Joker.
And they showed the contrast between him being very much wanting to be in the spotlight versus how Batman is just a slinking shadow in the beginning.
And the thing is, as he's doing that, if he doesn't get what he wants, then he's angry and irrationally angry. Batman doesn't do that. Joker does. Joker gets so pissed if things don't go his way. And I think it's a huge staple of Joker that came from this, really. Like, Mark Hamill does it, and he's really good at it. But Joker in this is just like a turn of a dime. He's like sinister. God, when he's on the news and he's like selling those products, I could talk about Batman 89 for like hours. I think it is so much fun. The Joker parts, the Batman parts I care less about, but like the Joker is wild when he just decides to have a parade. Like, there's nothing else going on. Man had someone build that thing and all those balloons. He had to pay somebody to do that. You don't just grab one of his goons. He
dropped bills on that.
Yeah, he went out of his way for that.
Granted, they weren't his bills, but he dropped them bills.
Else's. But then Batman comes down with the Batplane and is shooting at him, and Joker just stands there like in the middle as the bullets go by him and pulls out a like 15-inch revolver out of his drawers, and he's like, "All right, Batman," and shoots the Batplane. Like, what? It is so much fun, bigger than life. And that's what I love in this kind of stuff. And that's why I like Batman and Robin so much, because it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
But there's
I
still
used to watch that movie. I watched the Schumacher movies a lot of times. Those movies. Like, I genuinely adore those movies.
I don't like Batman Forever. I actually think that's my least favorite Batman movie. I don't know why. I do not like that movie in the slightest. I will go out of my way to never watch it again.
See, I'll watch both
Bores
of them.
me. I love Batman and Robin because it's just the 60s with a huge budget. And Arnold Schwarzenegger. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Clearly I'm a huge Mr. Freeze fan, but I All right, let's talk about going from 89. Let's talk about Batman the Animated Series because I know that you really like this episode.
Yes, Robin's
this was your call.
So this story is about Dick Grayson. This is about how finding the man who killed his parents. Tony Zuko, low-level monster. Tony Soprano. Everybody's favorite gabagool slurping misfit. Tony Zuko, it's not so Dick, it's half of it's flashback, half of it's modern day. Dick and Batman racing each other to find Zuko, and I want to talk about the flashback first. You see Dick go out of his way to find Zuko, and he does, and it ends up with him almost dying. But and it leads to Bruce, letting him in, and you see Bruce smile because he's like, I can save this child from becoming me.
The whole point is that Batman was hiding this stuff from Dick. Like, he knew, and Batman made the choice to hide this from Dick. Now, there's two sides of that coin. There's the side that he does not want him to go through what he went through. He doesn't want him to almost kill him, things like that. But what gives him that right? Like, you can't take that. No one took that from you. Why would you do that to someone else? Instead, you could have used that to teach Dick. Like, he was in college at this point too. He wasn't young.
Yes. So the main difference between this and the original story of Dick as a child doesn't suit up to go find Zuko. He just goes out, puts a flat cap on, and goes out and searching in his little turtleneck and jeans. And in the comics, Bruce goes, I'm going to train you right away. But after Dick, does the detective work, he does the footwork, Bruce is like, there's nothing I can do to stop this kid. So I might as well make sure he can do it as safe as possible. But the big difference between those two is Dick doesn't get justice until he's an adult. In the original, he gets justice. Granted, Tony Zuko dies of like a heart defect in the original, I think.
The thing about...
But you see the fear that Batman was striking into these people at the time. Like, even a young Batman, like, his suit is different, he's different, Tony Zuko went and was afraid to come back to Gotham for 10 years after escaping Batman once. And he's strung out.
Yeah. I think the thing about Dick is that he's better than Batman because he's seen who Batman is and how Batman doesn't know how to, talk or express himself.
Well, let's also remember that
interact.
Batman, the animated series Batman, is
rough. So is Superman.
Well, yeah, but like they have more they have more toxic masculinity. Bruce in this universe does sleep with Barbara Gordon.
It's sick.
Yeah.
But, like, if
you adopt a child, still don't think it's okay to, sleep with your adult son's girlfriend.
Yeah, it's weird. But...
Well, don't sleep with your son's girlfriend in general.
Yeah, it's weird. I just think it's interesting to see Batman like this. I think he's like that a lot. Like, I think he doesn't have the proper tools to communicate, despite Alfred trying to give those to him. And I think this is a really good example of, like, again, that double-sided, like, Batman's trying to do his best, but he's not emotionally available, and he doesn't get it. Like, sometimes he's just a dumbass, despite being the smartest man on Earth.
Well, yeah.
Or Mr. Terrific, depending on who you ask.
That all depends on who's writing them. I think, like, IQ-wise, Batman is second currently to Lex Luthor.
Really? You think Lex is smarter?
No, Lex has always been smarter.
Interesting.
That's...
I didn't know that. Huh. So, yeah, I think this is a great episode. I mean, if it was my choice, I probably would have done... what is it? Not Heart of Ice. Oh God, I'm blanking. Mr. Freeze episode. What is the name of that? We've already covered it though, so it's not even Heart of Ice. Yeah, Heart of Ice. So
he tells himself no, and then he's like, well, no, I was right the first time.
Yeah, I mean, Batman the Animated Series is probably what got most people into Batman.
Yes.
You
Well,
could
I mean,
pick
the
up-
90s superhero cartoons are what got most people into,
Yeah.
you know, most of the
X-Men,
modern
Spider-Man,
audiences.
Batman.
I think like those were the most effective ones in kids reading. Like a lot of I'm 3 years younger than you, so my real big superhero cartoons were when I was younger. Well, I got the tail end of these of Batman the Animated Series and Superman. I mean, but like when I was young, it was Justice League, and then the Batman, X-Men Evolution, Spectacular Spider-Man. I think those did less work to get kids reading than, because I mean they were also coming alongside so many movies.
Yeah, you got to go to a time where like the movies were coming out
Yeah,
too, which was nice.
but then you get like a lot more people with very different definitive Batmans and like superheroes.
But yeah, I think this is a really good showing of Batman the Animated Series. I think you could pick up any episode and be like, oh, Batman's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Batman Universe now, because I loved this book. So I watched it. I read it.
It's very... I watched it. No, I read it.
No. So the thing is, because I've been doing so much this week, I've been trying to not just do work constantly. So last night I was watching The French Dispatch. And I've been so it's 3 vignettes, and I paused after the second one to read this. And I was reading all of Bendis's dialogue as if it was a Wes Anderson film. And it kind of worked. Like the way it's like snappy. He's got the Bendisisms, but it kind of, a Wes Anderson Batman would be pretty cool. But I want him played by like Michael Cera, so he's like super like, honestly,
Michael Cera, Bruce Wayne.
Jason Schwartzman would be a good one too, but he's smoking a cigarette the whole time. It'd be great. Which I can't do on film anymore. But this story is so cool. Like all right. I love Jonah Hex, despite all this shitty stuff
anymore.
No, not in some of these.
Makes sense.
Not in Marvel and not in DC. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Because they wouldn't have let Gordon smoke in this one.
I don't need Gordon to smoke.
I like when he smokes.
I like it when he vapes.
Oh God, I hate that.
Really connect with the kids on that one, you know?
Wait till we talk about the Batcat, because there is such a good Gordon page in that. Because it's so good. Yeah,
the mirror page.
It's like in the Lego Batman where it's like, I'm a joke at work, I'm a joke at home. So
it's like, this is like sipping on iced tea.
This is the one time I really liked Hal Jordan. I really liked how he was written. I loved Green Arrow, but Ginny Hex was in it for a minute, and it made me so sad because there's no more Ginny Hex right now. I love that character.
Mean, not a lot of the characters who were in the Wonder Comics line, are anywhere other than Naomi. But that's just because Bendis is, writing Justice League.
Well, Naomi is a huge character though. Like, people love her.
Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt that. I mean,
the Wonder Twins.
I still haven't read Naomi as a book.
I read the first season. Is the second season out?
I don't think so. I didn't even know they were doing it by seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about the show. I don't know yet.
I didn't realize the show was out either.
Is it out?
I think so. Maybe we'll look at it later. I love Night. I think she's a really cool character.
A lot of spinning plates over gate crashers. Everybody.
Yeah. My brain knows.
Yeah.
So, all right. This is such an interesting story because the way a lot of it is Batman and Alfred talking back and forth in the communicator, which is always so good because Bendis does a really sassy Alfred, as everyone should. Alfred should be the sassiest, snarkiest character in the Bat family. Yeah. It's the way he should be. If he's not that way, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Wait till he gets to Nolan.
What's with all them push-ups, Mr. Wayne?
Yeah, Nolan might be a quick section. What was your favorite part of this story?
The Nightwing stuff. I mean, I liked the way they just bounce off each other. I also liked the Green Arrow stuff.
I do love that.
This is an easy read. I didn't spend too much time on it. I mean, it was 6 issues, and I blew just right through it. I mean, like I said, it's like sipping on iced tea.
Yeah, I really loved it. It's such like it's not a super sad story. It's so much fun.
I wouldn't even say it's refreshing, but it's also not revolutionary. If that makes sense. That's why
I think it is different because a lot of stories aren't just fun the whole time anymore. This is part of the Walmart series.
I would, yeah, it was one of the Walmart line, but it's very much in line with Batman Brave and the Bold, which we will talk about. Which I think that's next, correct?
Yeah, there's cameos, and the whole time it's just a fun ride. And you've got the best, like, there's so much in Nick Darrington's art, there's so much fluidity.
Yeah, I love those movement pages.
Yeah, everything in his books feels like they're moving. The Riddler's written very funnily.
Oh, also dinosaurs, man, dinosaurs.
Batman's just like, I love dinosaurs. And Green Arrow was like, what? You do? And he goes, yeah, I have a giant dinosaur in my cave. Do you not know that? I like when Batman's kind of funny, and I think this book gets it. And he's not a funny character overall, but like, I love this book. Like, this is the book I would give to people who've never read comics before because, like, it is fun from beginning to end. There's some cool mystery stuff going on. Batman gets a cool costume.
There are times where Batman is clearly neurotypical, and there's times where he's clearly neurodivergent.
Yeah. Why can't?
Yeah. Like, there are times where, like, Batman will know the proper social cues and, like, and then there are times where he has none of that.
Yeah. I can't really speak to that.
I love dinosaurs.
Sorry, I'm looking at the picture of when he gets the Green Lantern ring. Mm-hmm. Is it a White Lantern ring or is it just a prototype?
It's
sick.
He's the White Lantern, but it's also like a version, like the next step between Kronos' glove and the regular ring.
It's sick.
It's that he kind of ignores the continuity about that, which is pretty good.
But fuck the continuity. That's why this book is awesome, because continuity is stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't need the continuity.
This book is a standalone book. You don't need anything. You can read it and have a blast. And there needs to be more comics like that. I'm big into that. Because Tom King had one too for Superman, which was a really good book. And I think there needs to be more stuff that's just like
Up in the Sky.
Its own thing, where it's just like 6
that
issues.
I need to read. I had the hardcover. I just need to
It's really good. Deathstroke's like, there's characters that people know, like they can see, and like even Vandal Savage, you were saying, like, I know he's not as big, but he is big. He's been in Young Justice. He's been in Legends of Tomorrow. He's been in all the Justice League shows. He's been in every. People know Vandal Savage these days. Like, he's a more well-known. He looks weird in this one, mind you.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Vandal Savage.
He looks more like a caveman, which he is, which makes sense.
I think the shaved head is the big issue I have with him in this.
I love the look of Deathstroke without his mask. He looks so cool.
Yeah.
I think the fluidity and like the battles in this is so good. I think Jonah Hex is very funny despite him.
Oh no! One of my notes is I think Bendis writes a perfect Jonah Hex.
Yeah, just kind of like a grizzled piece of shit.
Yeah, like that. I need more of. That is something I want Bendis to write. I don't care what else he does. I want him to write Jonah Hex.
The story is just straight up goofy. They're going after a Fabergé egg with alien tech in it, which is the ring. But like, it is just goofy from start to finish. Batman's a cowboy at one part. They fight dinosaurs. Like, this is what I love about this is a book that I can read when I'm like burned out on stuff. I would read this and be like, this is why I love comics. Like, this is fun. Yeah. Not everything needs to be doom and gloom.
Yeah, not a lot of comics nowadays are like, I buy a lot of comics. And I don't get to read through all of them at the pace that I would want, but there's got to be things that in your pile that make you go, I love this. It's not a slog. It's not even a difficult read. It's not even heavy. It's just fun.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
I think after this, I'm probably going to buy a physical. I might stop at the Barnes and Noble later and buy it because I really do want it on my shelf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that is. I don't know if necessarily I need that on my shelf. I do need. After thinking about it more, I should have bought Year One today.
Have you read Doom Patrol, Gerard's, with Darrington?
I started it.
Oh God,
I read. I think the first.
I don't know
issues.
what Darrington's even doing these days, but
I don't know. Oh wait, no. The last thing I remember him doing was Future State Batman. The next Batman. The first issue.
I didn't realize. Wait, the Future State, or is he doing the current series?
The Future State. He only did issue 1. He did the designs for both versions of Chase Fox's Batsuits.
He's such a good artist.
Yeah. Which they're not using either of those in his actual book now.
God, I'm just looking at his art right now. It's
Granted,
so
you can buy his early Batman suit design from McFarlane Toys now. Which is one of the best updated versions of the Batsuit that has aspects of the trunks involved.
Yeah. All right. What is up on our agenda next? Is Batman Begins. So at the time the Nolan movies came out, I liked them, but only because everyone else was like, "Oh, these are the best things ever," and I was like,
We're just kind of on the verge of getting into comics because we were still pretty young.
I don't like these movies.
I don't care about Rises. I don't care all that much about The Dark Knight. I do like Begins, but I'm a sucker for an origin story. I really like this era of because I really like the Daniel Craig Bond films. I have the Aston Martin Lego set.
Does it come with a mini of him?
No. This thing's big. This thing is
but remember the Bat Tank they released last year? They put out Scarecrow with that. Like they had a bunch of figures that came with it.
Oh no. They wouldn't. So there are ones that do like the Batman 89 one that's this size. They do come with minifigs, but they can't fit inside it. They're just display ones. So that's part of why I didn't buy the Technic Batmobile for the new movie. I'm gonna buy the set that comes with Batman.
Yeah, Listen, I've still got the full Daily Bugle in my closet. I just don't have anywhere to. If I build it, where am I going to put it? Thing.
That's where I'm falling into. My desk is covered in Gundams, guys.
The thing for that is you can see my office. My office is full. There's a box of stuff behind me.
No, your background is blurred, Dan.
It's bad. It's it's not trash. It's just stuff. I've got so much stuff.
That is the problem I'm also running into.
But back to Batman Nolan. I wish the movie was just Scarecrow. There's so much going on, and there's no.
So what this movie tries to do is it tries to blend Batman Year One with Batman No Man's Land, and while also keeping it in the War on Terror era.
Yeah,
like that. It's about terrorists. I enjoyed watching it. I don't need to think critically about it. I think the suit's good.
I hate the suit. I don't like the suit. I like his second one more than I like this one.
Oh no, his second one's better, but I think there are aspects of this one that I like more. Like I like the chest piece more. But then again, the belt stays the same. Granted, that's also the one he wears as the Dark Detective in Future State.
Yeah, I'm just looking at pictures of him right now. I just
also like he's got the big bat symbol on his chest.
I like when he's scarecrowized. That was cool.
Yeah.
I just wish Scarecrow was so good in this. I wish he was the whole thing.
he was great.
Murphy's such a good actor. I wish he becomes a joke. I do like that he's recurring through the series, that like the villains are still out there, but I don't have like I don't want to be negative because like it's a good movie. It's just not for me.
It's very aughts.
I don't like grounded stuff.
A great Gordon.
I don't agree. I think Gordon's terrible.
Oh, you don't?
I hate this Gordon. I don't like him at all. I like him more in Night than anything. I don't think they have a great relationship. I don't like their back and forth. I don't know. I just don't think they have
it really
chemistry.
doesn't exist in this. They don't.
I guess all right. I'll walk that back. I don't think I hate this Gordon. I just don't think they have any chemistry together, and I don't.
No. I agree with that.
I don't know. I don't want to harp
the dynamic isn't there.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on it because I do I like the Bane of the series mostly because he makes me laugh. But this movie was not.
But yeah, it's wild that there are two Ethans in this movie.
Yeah,
two Ethan characters. I mean,
I just
we
don't.
We got Michael Caine.
My thing with Nolan.
We got a Welsh in here. Where they come rice.
Yeah, the only thing that I really I like Nolan movies when I see them once. Yeah, I'll see them the first time, and then I'm good. And I never have to see it again.
The ones where they make you think, you don't need to see them multiple times.
No, there's some. It's just these ones. I don't know. They're all right. We'll move on after this, but I think they're kind of pretentious.
You don't need.
I think they smell their own farts the whole time.
Yes, they do. They do. I think there are a lot of. We had a talk about this on other game chats about other comics and stuff that were pretentious. Like Starman has a pretentious streak in it from the 90s. But I think what really I want to go back to year one. Like a lot of comics want to have an aspect of it that makes it a classic.
Yeah.
But it just
you can see a lot of these stories in each other. A lot of these stories are in one another, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, Batman Begins is an attempt to merge Year One and No Man's Land. A lot of these comics want, on some level, to have No Man's Land and Year One in them. Everything wants
to be No Man's Land.
Yeah.
I do think we're gonna end up doing that as an audio drama for the show. Surprise. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be a GC52 retrospective report. And I'm going to start writing it soon.
So what you're saying is Mr. Tubes.
No, it's going to be serious.
Mr. Tubes.
No, there's going to be no ferret in this.
He's not just a ferret. He
wouldn't be alive.
Pilot.
He wouldn't be alive. Ferrets don't live past 10 years.
No. It'll be Sir Tubes.
So I don't want to keep talking about this movie.
You don't want to keep talking about the ferret?
The tech of Batman Begins is great. I love seeing all the tech being built, like the cape and stuff like that. I think that is very interesting.
The plot is kind of, I think there are great actors in it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's got Morgan Freeman, of course. It's got great
Morgan Freeman's a great actor. So is
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. I don't think he's an okay Alfred. He's not sassy enough for me.
No, he's... What's with doing all them push-ups, Mr. Wayne, if you can't lift a bloody log? It's very watered down.
Yeah, a lot of people love these movies, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think...
it's not for me.
I think it's been done better.
Yeah. I like a little bit more...
I don't hate it.
Pizzazz.
It's
I don't hate it, I just don't ever want to watch it again.
If I'm just I want some Batman, but I don't want to really pay attention. Like I want to play on my Switch while I have some Batman playing in the background. I'll put on one of these movies. That's kind of what I did. BVS. I played Pokemon while I was watching this.
All right, let's talk about The Brave and the Bold and Mayhem the Music Meister.
Music Meister.
It's incredible. Like they get Green Arrow and Black Canary together in this.
Yeah, that's how they got them together in that series.
I do love. There's one song, "Drives Us as Bats," and it's about how other people see Batman.
Drives us bats,
and like how all the other heroes and villains don't get any attention because it's like all Batman all the time.
Yes.
But they get it.
Yeah, you know who else could have an episode like this?
Oh,
If it was still on TV, it could have been Wolverine the X-Men.
Jake, no, it couldn't. Wolverine is a little known indie character that nobody knows about.
Shut up, Dan.
Everyone's huge fans of the big X-Men like Leech and other well-known loved X-Men, Forget Me Not, and like other X-Men. Other X-Men?
Captain Krakoa.
Captain Krakoa, you got him, you got Deadpool, noted X-Men Deadpool.
Everyone's favorite X-Men.
I can't wait to cover. I love Deadpool.
I just called him an X-Men, not an X-Man.
He's such an annoying. Like sometimes he's very funny. The stuff I've been reading with all the Dawkins stuff, he's actually really good in.
I told you, Dan. Dawkins is pretty good.
No, he's not. Dawkins a piece of shit.
Oh no, he's a piece of shit, but as a character, he's good.
Yeah, he gets good. Okay, so yeah, Neil Patrick Harris is incredible in this. I really do think this is one of the most fun episodes of the series. But that series overall is like the way it approached DC was like it didn't. What was it? Superman wasn't in until season 3.
Yep.
And Joker wasn't.
It was kind of.
Joker wasn't in it until they did this. He's referenced. You can see him in this, but like you don't see Joker properly until their Emperor Joker episode. Like they didn't want to do the hits; they wanted to do the B-roll. Like, and it was so
not
much
even the
better
B-roll,
for
C-roll.
Yeah, like
a lot of Booster Gold in this.
Bwana was it? Bwana Beast, is that his name?
Bwana.
He's great.
Yeah, he becomes like the big damn hero. For a while, at a certain point.
Batmite is in it, played by Paul Rubens, which literally mentions the leather nipples from the Schumacher movies.
Yes,
which is awesome. But Music Meister, I've probably listened to that soundtrack 1,000,000 times. And the Music Meister was created before this, wasn't he?
I don't think.
But it was called something else.
No.
Oh, but if he's an original, then this character then went on to be in the CW show where they did Flash musical.
Yeah,
with, actress from Glee.
I don't believe he was in anything. Yeah, no, it's
interesting. Oh my god! And the Music Meister's costumes, like they switched to the eras of music, like Beethoven. He's got Kiss at one point. It is such a beautiful episode. Like, and Batman doesn't sing the whole time until the end because like he's Batman and he doesn't do that.
Yeah, but, he's eventually played by Darren Criss, who also goes on to play Superman.
I like Darren Criss.
Yeah.
Well, it's Darren Criss. It's Grant Gustin and what's Supergirl's name? What's her real human name?
Melissa Benoist.
Melissa Benoist. All people from my favorite show, Glee. Can't wait to do a Glee episode. But it's going to be in person, and we're going to start it, and I'm going to nail you with the Slurpee. Absolutely just nail you, and not let you know that I have a Slurpee until you get nailed with it.
Oh, I didn't realize Darren Criss was also in Justice Society World War II.
Was he Superman in it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I didn't know they were going to do a Earth 2 Superman in that. I need to watch that movie.
Didn't
you see Nazi Aquaman. Huh?
I think Stephanie Phillips was in it. Or she wrote it. She's writing Harley Quinn. Oh god, we'll probably do another Aquaman episode too.
Aquaman.
God, such a good. If you are
that's
not,
what I forgot to pick that up.
I can't give it to you. You can't. You're gonna have to go buy it. It is so good. If you're not reading Aquaman or the Brown and
I'll just wait for the
Chandis.
trades for
God, they're so good.
that, and I mean I'm not the biggest Aquaman guy.
Yeah, Aquaman the Becoming and Black Manta. Black Manta is so good. The art is so good. Sorry, back to Batman. So yeah, I think Music Meister is such a fun, and honestly, you can listen to it on Spotify all you want, which is awesome. Next up, do you want to go? Let's go Rooftops.
Okay, so Rooftops also references both the original meeting of Catwoman and Batman. Well, I don't know if it was necessarily the original. I have to go back and read it. I've definitely read it.
I like the idea that they both remember it differently.
Year one. Is it Earth one? Earth
So
one's a very
Rooftops
different-
is a story with basically Catwoman is going to prison the next day, so they only have tonight together.
Yeah, and it's it turns out it's all a cover for Holly.
Yeah. Also, Clock King's design in this is incredible. I don't think they've used it again.
No, they've used that again. That one
Have they?
That was used before that. Yeah, that I'm pretty sure. There was I think there was multiple Clock Kings in the Arrowverse, and I think this is one of the ones that
There was multiple Clock Kings in the Arrowverse?
I think so.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? There's no Batman, but there's multiple Clock Kings.
Oh no,
So-
never. I might be wrong.
The second issue, the part 2 of Rooftops, Jared's does allusions to the original Batman and Catwoman meeting and then to year 1 in both of the art styles of the series. And it is so good because his coloring for the original is outside the lines and it's beautiful. He does everything in these 2 issues, which is awesome. But the way he does year 1 is with that really cool pink and red lighting. And I love the way he does. He's so talented, like as an artist.
Absolutely. I mean, he does everything. Like, you have to give him his time to whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. Well, he's DC exclusive too, so he only does that.
So he can get away with whatever he wants in that.
But I
Regard,
really
but,
love this issue because
it's beautiful work.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of Catwoman and Batman, like, they're in love and they want to be together. And this is before he proposes, but it's like, can he ever be can he do it? Can he give up Batman to actually love someone fully?
Yeah.
One day we'll actually talk about that full story because I need somewhere to talk about it eventually. But in this, it's like he's trying to help her. Like, he just wants to make sure like she's safe. Like, he loves her so much. And again, it's Batman. Dude does not have the emotional tools to talk about things.
No, this is very much a toxic masculinity Batman.
I don't know if it's toxic. I think it's more, he's taught, it's him. It's no one's, Alfred is a very supportive and emotionally open person.
Yeah. Well, you also got to remember, Bruce.
He left.
Yeah, left.
And he went with all these like trainers and things like that who probably taught him all this like stuff. So it's like,
well, yeah, no. Well, he went to like rural areas.
Yeah.
Where there was very defined, norms.
But the thing is, like, this is him trying to unlearn that and actually like try to be capable of love and be capable of being loved.
A person. And
it breaks his heart in the end, but it's such an interesting story. And their dynamic is so good because of the Bat-Cat back and forth. It's like, you want them to be in love, but like, you're like, who's going to get hurt because of it? And
the
it's
is
Bruce.
Alfred.
Oh, yeah. Rip. Or snap in his case.
I mean, he has resin.
God, I hope he comes
Have
back.
you read Robin yet?
No.
Oh, yeah.
He brings him back?
That's his goal. That's what he's going to do next issue. That's what he wants to do with the because he just got his hands on some Lazarus resin.
What?
Spoiler for this week's issue of Robin, or last week's issue.
Really?
Yeah. He also gets a smooch.
I did see that. Good for him.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh shit! I'm so excited to read that now.
Yeah. So they're doing a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff with the Lazarus pits. From this and from that between and Task Force Z.
Oh yeah,
poor Jason got again.
Is he dead?
He died and then was brought back immediately.
I guess he's always been a zombie technically.
Yeah.
But I think these 2 issues are probably the best example of love between Batman and Catwoman and like their relationship. Yeah. There's so much fun. Like she's like very fun. He's Batman. She's like, let's break it in or somewhere. And Batman just kind of stands there and is like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to help you. Who's Holly Robinson? I am.
Okay, so I need to, before we move on to the next movie, there is a page I want to read. So it's a 9-panel grid. And it is James Gordon brushing his teeth in the mirror in his tighty whities and his glasses. And it goes, "You smoke too much. You're going to die because you smoke too much. You're going to die because every night you go to bed at 5 a.m. and you tell yourself you smoke too much. Then 3 hours later you get up and you smoke too much." And he leans down to spit out his toothpaste, and Batman's behind him. He goes, "Holy!" And he goes, "I need your help. Damn it."
The worst part is Batman probably heard that whole thing.
Yeah. Oh God. The next page when he's talking
the pageantry. Batman waited until he bent down to spit.
And Batman is trying to get information about Holly Robinson, and Gordon's like, "Catwoman, what did she do at Blackgate last night? Weren't you supposed to bring her in?" And Batman goes, "Jim." And Jim goes, "Yeah, Jim." Harvey, swing by Lively Lens Pub and pick up Judge Wolfman off the floor. Get him some coffee, then get him to the unseal some docs about Holly Robinson. Like, Jim and Batman's relationship is so good. I didn't realize this is going to become an episode about me talking about how Jim and Batman are the best relationship.
Oh yeah,
but it has. Oh, they're great.
Also, Batman says it. He says it in the next one.
The next issue. All right, let's talk about... I want the Super Friends to be the last thing because I think that might be my favorite 2 issues of comics.
It was great.
All right, Lego Batman. Stuff. Tell me what you thought.
Oh God, it was a roller coaster. I mean, it goes so big, big. I mean, it's got Michael Cera. It's got Billy D. Williams reprising his role as Harvey Dent in probably one of the... I mean, even as a Lego character, he is one of the coolest looking Two-Faces.
He looks great.
It's got Catman.
It's got the fucking Gremlins.
Yeah.
It's got Gremlins. It has Sauron.
Also, it has the Gremlins doing what, like, folklore Gremlins do, which is fuck with planes.
God, I love the Gremlins. I really love the Gremlins. But... the whole thing is just hilarious. It's so funny. He sings songs. He doesn't know how to let anyone in. He's very depressed and doesn't know how to handle that.
Hold on. When Croc appears and he says, "I did something."
Oh my God. Who says my power is just being a nuisance? I think it's Bane. Or no, it's Riddler. It's Riddler.
It's Riddler.
I love this whole movie. It's so fun. His password for his computer is Iron Man sucks.
No, that's the entrance into the Batcave.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
But also he accidentally, Alfred comes up behind him and he just kicks the shit out of him.
I got really good reflexes. Let me see if this still works.
One of my
turn on the back computer. Let me see if it still works. So you used to be able to talk to Siri and do Pooter like he does to the back computer, and it would do responses from the Batman movie.
Right. One of the things that I wrote about this is it's wild that this is a disaster bisexual love story.
Oh, yeah. This is the only movie that's not afraid to say Batman and Joker are gay.
Oh, absolutely.
It is...
Joker's whole thing is that he wants Batman to admit that he hates him and that they're arch rivals.
Yeah, that they're in a relationship. Batman's like, "I don't do relationships." Like, what? The whole movie. It's a kid's movie. It's wild.
And then Batman tries to, get with Barbara Gordon, which...
Yeah. Well, it's very different. It's not like that. Like, she's not Batgirl. She's the commissioner.
Yeah, and she's very much an adult, not...
Yeah, not a kid. Someone who's helped raise.
Yeah, well, granted, when in her original first appearance, she was like 25.
Yeah, I also love that he's showing Robin all of his suits, and he's like, "That one's culturally insensitive." It's like they have like the jokes like that. It's like, yeah, that stuff is not okay. But then he's got what is the one that Robin takes is the Rasta Man. The
Rasta Man one, yeah.
Where I
don't remember what it's called specifically, but
I think it was literally called Rasta Man because he went to he said Jamaica, and that's what they called him. And Robin puts it on and he goes, "I don't know if I'm going to be able to jump around with these legs." And he goes, "Rip," and pulls off the Lego legs. And they kick, like, I love the Lego movies for their commitment to being fully Lego. Like, they're not.
So there was one part where I was kind of shocked. I'm like, "Oh, wait, that's not Lego." And it's when the building floods.
Was it water?
Yeah, it was just like, it wasn't even water. It was like a gel water. Like a watered down gel.
Huh. Well, I
was
mean,
really,
with
really
that,
good.
it's probably hard to do that piece by piece. But like even with the lava,
Well, they did
there's
that
bricks
for,
and
they
stuff.
they did that for they did, little pegs for
Yeah.
the Lego movie with water.
Oh yeah, they did. They do with the lava though.
Yeah.
I
I just think because they wanted to show it flowing and they just couldn't.
Yeah,
Because it was coming through a doorway.
I
Just
loved
easier to Oh, but everybody in the movie says when they shoot guns, they go pew 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 pew.
So in the new Lego Star Wars game, you can turn that on. So you can make every sound effect from that game be the people who made the game. He's really close to the camera. You can make people from the game, like the developers recorded it. So when you shoot, it's like pew 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 pew. And you can turn off the voices too. Like remember the old Lego games where it was just mumbles? You can do that as well, which I'm gonna do. But like Lego Batman like captures so much of it, and there's like so much funny. Like Clayface is played by Kate Micucci.
Wait, really? I didn't notice that.
I love her. Hold on, let me pull it up, dude. The voice cast for this movie is unbelievable.
Hal Jordan was voiced by Jonah Hill, right?
Yep, and then Superman was Channing Tatum.
Yep,
he got to be Superman, never got to be Gambit though. Another X-Men everybody loves. Dude, so do you know the back end, Peter? Do you know who voices that?
Who?
Siri.
Oh, that's right. That is definitely right.
Jenny Slate
I wouldn't know.
is Harley
my
Quinn.
Siri is Australian.
Dude, Jason Menezukis is Scarecrow. From
I'm trying
the
to remember
League. He's got the beard.
One voice is that was
Conan O'Brien is the Riddler. Kate Micucci is Clayface. Poison Ivy is Ricky Lindholm, so that is Garfunkel and Oates. Eddie Izzard is Voldemort. Seth Green is King Kong. Jermaine Clement is Sauron.
Flash?
The Flash is Adam Devine from Workaholics.
Yeah, okay, that explains why I knew the voice.
Mariah Carey is the mayor. Wild. It's so the Chris Hart. I'm just reading the IMDb right now. It's
you just like you're like no,
Richard Cheese is in it. The lounge singer. So when they're singing, there's like party scenes. That's Richard Cheese, and Batman at one point has a Richard Cheese suit on.
Oh yeah.
Richard Cheese is also in BVS. His music is when Lois gets abducted. It is playing in the background. Because Richard Cheese and I guess Slater are friends, but he puts him in all of his movies. Just a quick note. I love Richard Cheese. I think he's really funny.
It's hilarious.
I love this movie because like at the end, it's just like Batman just needs to accept that people love him and he needs to love them back. I love Robin in this. And he's got the most screen accurate Robin Nightwing costume in all of cinema.
Yeah, if we're talking about
because the other one's red.
Huh?
The other one's red. Because the one in the Batman, the Schumacher is a red Nightwing costume.
Yeah, with a cape.
Yeah. I love it. I love the song. Patrick Stump wrote the Batman song. Did you watch that video I sent you where
yes,
it's the Batman song over the BVS warehouse fight?
Telling me that was a Fall Out Boy original?
Yeah, it was. Bane is voiced by Doug Benson. Sorry, I'm still looking at this. It's just so wild to me. Ralph Fiennes is Alfred Pennyworth, which is funny because Ralph Fiennes is also Voldemort, and he didn't voice Voldemort. It's just so fucking funny that Sauron is in the movie. God damn,
I thought King Kong was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, what does he say? He jumps on the tower and he's like, "Come and get me! Oh, come at me, bro!" God, you know who's Catwoman in that, Jake?
Who?
I want you to take a guess.
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you know who Zoe Kravitz is now?
Catwoman.
That is very funny. I didn't realize that until right this moment. That's so cool. But see Lego Batman. I don't care if you're like, oh, it's a kid's movie. It's not. It's very, very funny. It is. I'm a joke at work and I'm a joke at home. Like, There's so many bits in that are like, Jesus Christ. Before we talk about BVS, let's chat about Justice League Unlimited Epilogue. I'll let you start so you can talk about Batman Beyond, and I'll
So Batman Beyond is Terry McGinnis. He takes place in the future. It was, I can't remember, it's a cyberpunk Batman story, but it's very much still Batman. It's still very much in that same universe as Batman the Animated Series. It is an extension of that. It's Bruce Wayne is all alone.
The DCAU. It's kind of like a continuation of that.
Yeah, no, it is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
And this is a sequel to that. I don't have too many notes on this one, actually.
I have a lot to say. So this is
the only real thing I have to, because I've seen this so many times. I've talked about this so many times with you. I'm trying to remember what I have to say. The only real problem I have with it, I think it's a great episode. I just have one problem with it, and it's that at the end, after Terry kind of accepts everything he's learned, and he goes, just like my old man. I'm like, but yeah, Warren McGinnis still raised you, even though he's, his DNA was overwritten.
I think it was a joke more than it was a...
No, I know. I just...
I think it's good because does Batman know that he's his father?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he does. So my biggest thing with this episode, other than how much I love Amanda Waller and how funny she is in this episode, is that the world needs a Batman. And Terry at this point hates Batman. Like he's pushed everyone away, and it's like hard to see past all of that, like Batman not being able to express himself, that kind of stuff. But it really deals with my favorite thing is like Batman at the end is a kind man. Like he has a huge heart, but he doesn't know how to express that. And the Royal Flush Gang, one of the members is Ace. Ace has made them. Like she's psychic, and she's going to die because of her mutation. Sorry, that's X-Men. Her powers is going to kill her. And she's changed the entire city to like an Alice in Wonderland type thing. And Amanda Waller is like, hey, we gotta kill her. And Batman's like, I'll handle it. And you think, knowing Batman, he's gonna go in and kill her, but he goes in and he's like, I know you're afraid.
He just stays with her till she passes.
Yeah, he sits there and carries her out. It's so sad, but it's like Batman is.
It shows the gentler side of a very flawed Batman.
I think Batman's flawed in general. I don't think every single thing.
I think the Batman, the animated series Batman, it was just very forward with.
Yeah, I think
flaws.
I see him as I see Batman the animated series.
Oh, absolutely, it's different.
Not the New Adventures. I think that's a whole nother divergent timeline.
Oh, absolutely is.
After Batman the animated series goes to Justice League and Batman Beyond. I don't think this Batman did all that stuff, but I don't remember if it comes up in Beyond at all. But
it does.
It's an interesting view of Batman and like who he really is. And at the end, he comes and Terry's at his desk and he calls his girlfriend.
The thing that Bruce did was just the barber thing.
Yeah, so basically he's calling his girlfriend who he thought he was going to leave because he didn't want to hurt her. And they're going on vacation. He's going to propose to her, and Bruce comes down. He goes, "You're in my seat." It's like 3 a.m. and he goes, "You could have called." He's like, "Oh, you're worried?" And he's like, "I was worried about Gotham." But he really does care. He just does not express it because he made him soup. And he's like, "Your soup got cold." And he was upset that he didn't get to eat his soup. It is a beautiful portrait of what Batman is. I think it's one of the. I think it is the best animated superhero thing. Period. And it's not even because of my bias, because how much I love Amanda Waller. I think it is a truly beautiful.
Dan does love him some Amanda Waller.
I love Amanda Waller. I think she's one of the greatest characters in all of fiction. I think she's the coolest. She scares the shit out of me, and she will put Batman in his fucking place. All right. Next up,
than yours.
Batman vs. Superman. What did you... I know you haven't seen the extended cut, and I've seen it a million times. What did you think of that?
Of all the movies, I think this one held my attention the best. Which is wild, because... I wouldn't say it's the best one. Granted, there's a lot... The problem with BVS is there's a lot of shoved in noise. There's a lot of things you don't need for the core plot. The core plot is great. It's just You don't need all this stuff. You don't need the building up to the Justice League yet. You don't need to do all that. But that's the problem. They wanted to put out Justice League. So they shoved a bunch of shit in there, and then they chopped it up for the theatrical release. And I don't think it worked. But I will say, it's one of the best Batmans, period. Like, I don't need him to kill people, but like, Ben Affleck puts on a hell of a performance. He also looks great.
He's a big Batman. I like beefy
He's also
Batman.
a great Bruce Wayne.
He's sad. He's broken. This is the Batman I want to see is broken sometimes, and sometimes I want the family man. But like, I love BVS, and everyone. I've talked to this before. We've never actually covered any Snyder on the show, right?
Not to my knowledge.
So I love his stuff.
Batman
I think he has
loves
so many
brand recognition.
He has so many ideas, but he tries to put them all in all the time. And I think it's too much. Like if he just saved some ideas, but at this time, like he was getting shit, like his shit edited and stuff like that, so he couldn't just be calm. He's like, maybe I'll never get the chance to do this again. I don't think I needed the Justice League introduced through email attachments, but I really do think this is a broken Batman is much different. And now the thing about Snyderverse is that it has the best Alfred. When some of the shit he says where he's like, "Oh, go to Metropolis."
Ethan's boyfriend with the ascot.
So when he goes to Metropolis, he goes, "Oh, maybe you'll find a nice young woman to set you straight and put you on the right and narrow, and you'll finally give me like grandchildren or something." He goes, "Yeah, that'll never happen, Alfred." He's literally talking to himself, just mocking Batman right to his face, and he constantly does it. He just like makes snarky
Jeremy
remarks.
Irons is great,
so good, great. He's got a great scar. What a great guy.
Scar.
Dun, 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 dun. Now I am Batman's butler.
Just
instead of a lion.
Yeah,
what?
Outside of all the noise, I think there's a great film in this.
And the fight scene. The warehouse fight scene is literally just Arkham.
Oh,
straight
absolutely.
up, it's the best Batman fight scene.
But you know, it also doesn't shy away from the fact that Batman probably kills.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
They're dead. He doesn't. Shit, this Batman kills a lot of people.
He's just a psychopath.
He's broken. He's a broken man, and he's bad. And he's like
he failed to kill somebody once, so that ended up with a dead kid.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't get to kill Joker, so I'm gonna kill everybody fucking else. And you see him grow a lot through Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you see like how he's come to terms. Like he kills Superman. Like he doesn't do it on purpose, but like he kind of gets Superman killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I fucked up. Like, and he's got to right his wrong and do what's right and bring him back and things like that. But I think his costume is my favorite Batman costume, other than...
Oh, absolutely.
No, I like his more than I like Pattinson's, because Pattinson's is a year 2.
I want to see Pattinson's before I make the decision on whether I like it or not.
Well, the thing is, like, I can't judge it because this one is a Batman who has been Batman for 20 years or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like the difference between the Arkham games is like, oh, you have the Arkham suit from City and Asylum. It's very different from the one from Knight. It's also they're both very different from...
They're good for their universes, but
the origin, yeah.
Also, the forearms in Arkham are like ham hocks. They're just gigantic. Wow, this Batman literally is a ham hock. He's huge.
He's massive.
He has a CrossFit workout in it.
Ben Affleck is 6'4".
Oh, dude, the fucking fight scene between him and Superman is so good when Superman gets kryptonited and Batman rips off a sink and bashes it over his head.
And then when Superman starts getting his powers back, you see Batman go, oh no.
The literal oh fuck in his face. Doesn't he say oh shit?
He says, no, he doesn't say that. He steps back and he's just kind of like, oh.
There's, when he first runs up to Superman, when Superman puts his hands on his chest and just kind of, like, he, like, pops him and he flies back. His shit's awesome. Their fight is so good. When Batman has the bat grapple around Superman's ankles and just swinging him in the air, incredible. And he's slamming him through, like, the pillars. Oh, my God. My parents, hold on, let me look it up. I love this movie.
I also want to defend the controversial Martha scene. Like,
yeah, the
people
dude
had
has
such a
clear
big
PTSD.
yeah, people had a problem with that. Like, oh, like that's what snaps Batman out of his funk. Yeah, his mother was named Martha. He doesn't know that Superman has a mother.
It was brutal. Yeah, he doesn't know Superman has a mother because he's his enemy. He doesn't see him as a person. I love that shit. So, okay, this is the line. I bet your parents taught you that you mean something, that you're here for a reason. My parents taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter for no reason at all. They taught me the world only makes sense if you force it to. This man has lost so much. He's lost his Robin. Robin was introduced in originally because Batman was too dark. Now, this Batman has lost his Robin dead. Like, Dick is dead.
That's not why Robin was introduced.
Hadn't Batman become too murdery and he wasn't appealing?
No.
Why did they introduce him?
They wanted kids to be able to feel like they're in a Batman comic.
Huh.
Because Robin gets introduced really early. Yeah. Like, nobody gave a shit at that time that Batman had a gun and he shot a guy in the throat.
Murdered a bunch of people?
Yeah. No one cares.
He killed the Joker.
Killed people. Superman killed people.
But basically, this is a Batman who's just fucked up. He's just fucked up, man. He's just fucked up. He's just fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked up.
But I just really love the whole... I loved Affleck, and I get to see him one more time, and then I'm good. Like, I don't need any more, because it really fucked him up, and it really hurt that Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Poor Ben Affleck.
Yeah, but I love this movie. I really like him in Snyderverse, but I wasn't going to make you sit through a 5-hour movie.
Yeah, no.
Which is wild. Too long.
You don't... The ultimate cut of this was too long.
Too long. Superheroes movies are getting too long. What are they, Lord of the Rings? Okay, so let's talk about Double Date. Or Super Friends, sorry. It's the Double Date issue.
Yeah.
Basically, Batman's engaged and didn't tell Superman, and Lois is like, why don't you say something? Why don't you, like, talk to your friend? And Batman's like, oh, no, he's not my best friend. Gordon's my best friend. Alfred's like, come on, dude.
No, it wasn't Alfred.
Oh, it was Selena.
Catwoman. Yeah, Selena. Selena's like, what? No. He doesn't even know your name.
They go to a carnival. And it's a superhero night. So they switch costumes. And Selena wears Lois Lane's just dress while Lois wears the costume. There's like...
So I want to say I love the fact that when they're walking away, Clayman decides that the teenager has to have heart eyes.
What'd you say?
Catwoman. Okay, when the teenager's sees them all in their costumes, and he's like, "Oh, who are you supposed to be?" After she says "meow" to him 3 times, and they walk away. He has heart eyes, like literally just big hearts.
I love the dynamic between Lois and Selena in this comic so much because they talk
I'm
openly
sad
the
we
whole
didn't
time.
get to see that issue, the Bachelorette issue.
What? Yeah, we did.
There was like a different version of it that didn't get released.
Oh,
something like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's just before
I
we get
might
into
also be wrong. I could be completely
the
wrong.
actual story of this. Clay Mann did this art, right?
Yes.
Too sexy. Makes everyone too sexy. Everyone is. There's a guy who's running
I want Clay Mann to do something like a Doc Savage book.
I want him to do an art book, but like
he definitely should do an art book.
He does the Teen Titans at one point, which is really cool. But he has whoever's running the game where you hit the hammer at the thing and it goes up and hits the bell. It's Lobo, and the dude is just fucking too sexy. It's like why is this man at the carnival so sexy, Clay?
Dan, I think that's some internalized thing. You want to, get with some carnies.
So,
you are the Brita of this conversation right now. You really want to talk to Blade?
Remember Subway? So, the coolest thing about this issue is like you see the differences between the two couples. Like you can see Batman and Catwoman are, just a lot hornier than Lois and Clark are. Because like when they go through the tunnel of love, they're like, "Oh, that was so nice," and Batman and Catwoman are like, basically dry humping in the goose.
Yeah.
But you also see
Did you say
that
goose.
Yeah. What is it? A
swan?
Whatever. Fuck swans. They're all the same.
Swan.
I fucking hate birds. There's a thing with the baseball game, and like Batman's like, no, I'd be fine. I'd hit it. Like, there's that kind of stuff. There's that masculine, like, oh no, I'm still great.
No,
like,
I,
no
think
one
that,
can
I
be
thought
better
that
than
was.
I.
I thought that was Superman.
I
I thought that was Superman and Lois.
I think both of them do it. They're
Oh, I
both
don't
in
know.
the thing.
No, because it was too many words for Bruce to be saying it.
No, it's Bruce.
Oh, was it?
Oh no, wait, hold on. Well, I'm looking for the page right now because they're on a Ferris wheel and they're talking about it.
Oh no, I'm talking about the initial conversation about it. Because that's definitely Clark. No,
Yeah,
no,
so
when we're on the Ferris wheel, they're talking about the baseball.
Yeah.
That because Superman's saying that he could that Bruce wouldn't be able to hit a ball off his pitch.
Yeah. When they're all standing looking at the balloons, and Batman's like, he told me the S stands for hope, and Catwoman's like, and did you tell him the bat stands for a bat? And Clark goes, he did. And then Lois is like, boys are gross in so many ways. Like, they're like, I love their dynamic as a group. I would pay all of my money to just have more issues of just these four hanging out.
I just want them to be happy. I don't know exactly what the canon stance is for those two at this point. Like, how canon is Batcat?
They're not together anymore. She's on her own. Batman is somewhere else. He's in Europe.
And then he's coming back, and he's going to hang out with his boyfriend. Ghostmaker.
There's like this really good thing. I'm trying to find where it is. Because Lois asks why Batman. Oh, and she's like, why would anyone? Why? That's all I'm asking is why. And Selena says, it's just when I fall, he catches me. And then later in the issue, when they're eating ice cream, Clark and Batman are talking. And he says, oh, I can't believe it. What? You're engaged. You, like to Batman. And he says, when I fall, she catches me. Like, they love each other for the same reasons, despite they're so totally opposites. When Lois and Clark are very similar people, and they're both got the same kind of alignments.
And the catches me line is actually in reference to rooftops.
Yeah. So it harkens back to that. Like, it's all so... I think King's run is... I love King's interpretation of Batman and working through all this stuff, and like this character, like...
I had some problems in the beginning with it. Like, I didn't really care about the Gotham part. Gotham, the character, not Gotham, the city.
Did you ever finish the run?
I need to.
It's important. All of that, everything builds to something.
Yeah. No, I know. I know what happens.
Yeah, it's very sad. I think Gotham Girl's coming back.
Yeah, she is.
I think Sina Grace is writing it. We'll see. I'm excited for it. I love Gotham Girl.
Yeah, she's a cool character. But like, I didn't care about like what was going on in that. I was like, yeah, the first issue was good. I'm like I know Tom King's great. It just wasn't doing it for me. Like, but also I can't read Tom King month to month by him, written by himself. I need to read his final
in one go.
Like, I need to read it all in one go.
That's what I do with like his graphics. So like I had to stop reading. Oh no, I'm almost caught up on Human Target because like it's actually really easy to read. But there's so much going.
That's also very.
There's typically something so much going on that I want to make sure I'm catching everything because it all connects.
He does so many deep cuts.
Yes,
but everything flows together. It's very continuous. You need it all together. You can't be like, oh, what was it 5 months ago?
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
Yeah,
I just read Strange Adventures that way in just one shot.
I have it. I need to read it.
It's good.
I should have just waited for the hardcover because the hardcover is beautiful.
I don't know. I just love seeing these people who care about each other. Like Batman and Superman aren't. Oh my god! You ever get tired of drinking ginger ale every damn day? Because Batman doesn't drink; he just drinks ginger ale.
Yeah.
And it's nice seeing the differences between the way the women talk and the way the men talk. Because like they're open, they actually share their feelings and talk to each other, while Batman and Superman are like, yep. It's like King of the Hill,
which is a direct contrast to their sons.
Yeah, who were like best friends, easy to talk, always talking about everything. They're like there for each other. But
granted, I love that they're finally they're letting Damien grow up.
Yeah.
And not like in the way that like certain people have written him like, oh, he's a kid, so he's going to be fun and like that. No, Damien's never like that.
Yeah.
It's also, but you have to, when he's open, you have to be like, Damien, this is making me uncomfortable. Like Lois and John are like, Damien, you're making me uncomfortable talking about your feelings.
Yeah, I love Damien. And he's the Robin's
being supportive. Really good.
Yeah. I posted that panel of Nightwing and Batman from Batman Universe, and 257 retweets, 19 quote tweets, and 2,400 likes. Again, Nick Darrington, art real fucking good. People seem to like it, clearly.
Yeah.
That was not a humble brag in any way. I don't know why that thing's still going, and it's actually a lot, but I really love Batman, and I think we're at the end.
2 hours and 8 minutes later.
I know, we're like the Cerebro podcast now. We had a real podcast. Typically we don't usually have, I think this is we're probably going to do these kind of lengths for bigger episodes. But you can find us at Gatecrashers Pod on all social media. You can find us at our website at gatecrashers.fan, where The Batman review will be up by this point. You can find all of our other content there. We'll have some different Batman content coming out this week. And you can hear Jake and I again it'll be 2 weeks from this next one when Ethan joins us to finish the fight. So, thanks for coming. Catch us next time. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Shh.